All right, good morning, everyone. Welcome to Market Prep. I hope you're having an amazing morning. Hope you guys had an incredible day yesterday. Actually, an incredible weekend. So hope you guys enjoy that. Good morning, John. How you doing this morning?
Hey, Carlos. How's it going?
All right, loud and clear, man. Good, good. How was your weekend?
Great. I got an echo here. I'm just trying to figure out which of these many browser pages is providing sound here.
Yeah. No worries, my friends. You figure that out, guys. Good
There it
morning.
is.
Got it?
There it is.
All right.
Yeah,
Awesome.
no, good weekend. I didn't do anything.
That could be fun. That could be fun. And just what you need sometimes. So excellent, man. All right, friends. Peter is on vacation. He will not be joining us for a couple of days this week. So hopefully he's doing well, resting up, and enjoying his family and friends out there. All right, friends, let's get to it. Our gappers list this morning, as you can see here, we got a couple of things in the green and not so much in the red, but some familiar names gapping down this morning. Speaking of Peter, here's Lunar down 26%. So it's a funny story there. So it looks like this thing landed on its side, from what I'm hearing, and that has the stock dropping this morning. Is that considered a landing on the side, or is that a crash? I mean, if you land on your side, that's a crash.
It's been tough to land stuff on the moon. You would think it's easier than something like Mars with the slower descent, but man, countries are having a hard time getting a lander to just work correctly on the moon. My wife pointed out, we were watching the news and she said, "Why'd they make it so tall?" And I thought the same thing. I'm like, why did they make it so tall? I'm no space engineer, but it seemed like maybe a more square lander might have be less apt to tip over, but
yeah. So we'll see Lunar here down 26%. Is that Walmart down 66%?
I posted this to our Telegram thread this morning. Nobody responded to me, but I was like, "Hey, Walmart's the world's ending. Walmart's down 66%.
Is that a reverse split?
It's not Walmart. It's Walmart on DOS is flat pretty much. Actually, it's up 1.1%. It's not flat. So I don't know why.
Oh, it's a split. Okay, that makes sense. It's a split.
Oh, it is. Okay.
The scanner is reading it as, the scanner's price is taking the price from the last trading day and reading 100 and something to now 59. So the scanner is wrong, but DAS is correct because it's showing only up 1.1.
Okay.
All right, that makes sense. Reverse split there for me. Yeah, Walmart down 60%, man. We're definitely, the world is falling apart. We see that happening. Run. All right, let's get to it. Let's go over to our market pulse and see what's happening for today.
Yeah, well, I'm excited to see the slide updated, which means I have access to change it. All we have this morning is new home sales at 10 a.m. and that's it. So not a huge one, but always something to be aware of when you're getting into a trade or perhaps in one. Just know when those news events are coming out.
All right, excellent. And what time is that? I can't see it here.
10 o'clock, 10 a.m.
10. Okay. I will see if that has any major changes to the way this market has been trading. All right, friends, let's get to our gappers list this morning and see what's happening there. I'm going to bring this over here. And here we are. Let's start by clearing our list. Control A, Control X is going to clear our watch list here on Dash Trader Pro. And then as we add more columns here, we'll look at the first one, which again, just back and forth on this one, now up 70%. HOLO out big this morning, 5.9 million shares traded. I mean, this thing's been up to 100, right? But it's making some noise this morning, man. What is driving this one?
It's stupidity. It's just there's no new news on it. It's going up and down. It's been it had a huge day back on the 16th of February. It's been trending down since then, and here's a bounce. Could be a dead cat bounce. Could be this could be the run to 5 million. I have no idea, but it's up. It doesn't take much I mean, in the great scheme of things, it doesn't take much to move this thing, 20, 30%. 65's a good amount, I guess, but still, it's
Yeah.
just the what it's been doing.
Yeah, it seems aggressive, man. 65%, 5.9 million shares traded. You still don't have shares for short on this thing, at least with Interactive Brokers, you don't. We just put it here in the pile of mischief chiefs,
You know what's
chiefs
crazy about this
toys.
stock is it's a low float. I think it has about a million shares
Yeah,
available to trade. But when it first started moving was back on February 7th, and it traded about 194 million shares, which is a lot, right, for $1 million float or a million
yeah,
share float. But its biggest day was back on the 16th, and it only had a volume of, what was it? 19 million. I mean, it's just 20 million, maybe, like much, much, much smaller for that giant move. So you can see how easily it is to push the price of this stock, and almost regardless of the volume.
yeah. It's pretty wild, man. Again, it's got some movement here. Would I be trading it? Probably not. I think I like to look at other things instead. But if it's your cup of tea, it is in play today, as you can see here. Next on the list is on the gap up. It's going to be AGTI, and this is up 30%. Looks a bit of a buyout type move here, as
Yeah,
it's
it's
pretty
being
much
taken
flat.
private. It's being
Yeah,
taken private, approved by the board, $10 per share in cash to shareholders. So that's
yeah.
it.
So
Yeah, it's not tradable.
not tradable. Heading on down to RCM today. RCM, what do we have here? This is up 20%, 137,000 shares trade. So very light volume, nice gap up, but the volume is not there. And if you look at the daily, man, it doesn't look like a great intraday trading ticker. So I'm concerned in even adding it to my list here, even as a possible. Any news that might be interesting on this?
That news is not out. I'm going to guess there is for a move like
Yep.
that, but it was not on the gappers earlier. I don't have it on my notes list, so it just snuck on there. And I don't see anything on Trading Terminal yet for a news item, but that would seem to justify a news-driven move.
Yeah. So there you have it. Again, volume extremely light, so not too interesting right now. Let's see if that changes. Throw it back out to me. ALT this morning. This is up 20%, and then this is 1.6 million shares trade. So we got a little bit of volume here. Typically, this stock does not trade very well. Does not get a lot of volume. We've seen it here plenty of times in the past. Any news this morning, John, with this type of action
The
we're getting?
the only news I see seems to be negative for the company.
Okay.
There's a law firm encouraging investors to seek compensation for alleged wrongdoings. It has to do with the results of a drug that they were testing. So I don't know why it's gapping up, but there is some news.
Yeah, yeah.
Just that a lawsuit, they're trying to get plaintiffs together for that.
Yeah, all right. So doesn't look that good. We'll go skip on that. Wow, this list right now, nothing has come off that's like great at the moment. Let's take a look at LI, see what's happening here. Now this is gapping up a little bit higher than what we're used to seeing, right? It's been very gappy up and down. If you look at the daily here, right, almost every day it's gapping up or down, between 1 or 2%. Today we got some good one though. There's about 12%, almost 2.4. That's a nice big gap this morning. What's driving lead today, John? This looks good.
Yeah. I was going to say be prepared for a lot of not great news events on this list here. It's not going to be an exciting morning, but
Yeah.
Lee does have legitimate news. They had earnings and they beat quite handily. So they reported 93 cents per share with an expectation of 59 cents. So they really blew that part out of the water. Earnings beat as well. So yeah, good news for Lee. So I would look for moves in other perhaps EV tickers as well today. You can see XPEV is up as well, and I believe that's sympathetic to Lee.
Okay. I like the volume we're getting here. I like the gap up 12%. It's a lot more than what we've seen over the last couple of days when it's been on our list. Might be worth having on our list at the moment. So I'm going to add it here 2.4 million shares traded, almost 12% gap up this morning. So that's looking really nice at the moment. Next, NERV. NERV, it is up 14.3, 101,000 shares traded. Very light volume. I mean, I don't know if this thing is really in play. Had a big move all the way to 940, back down to 7, where it's pretty much flat at one point, and then back to 785. So all that with just 100,000 shares trade. I just don't think this thing is in play. So I don't like the way it looks. I might skip on this unless you tell me otherwise, Sean. Something.
I couldn't find any news for Nerve,
Yeah.
but it doesn't mean it's not out there. But yeah.
Yeah, doesn't look good. All right, let's stop here in the gap up. Let's look at the gap down, and then John, I'll go to you to see if you have anything you want to go over this morning that we haven't talked about. Now here's Walmart. So yeah, it is a stock split, reverse stock split. So you can see here we are down 1.1. I'm sorry, we're up actually 1.1, giving the price that it would have been, or the value at least 315,000 shares traded. This stock doesn't trade very well for the most part, unless there's any news. Great investment stock though. So maybe now this price, it might attract more volume. It usually does when it gets, when you go from 170 to 59, people look at it as more attractive. Is it going to intraday trade well for us? Is it going to have any move? I don't know, but worth watching either way. Maybe not on our main list, but on the secondary to see how the day treats it this morning. Now that it's a $59 stock opposed to a $179 stock. And if you're holding long term on this, and this is something to know if you're a new investor, new trader, because this happened to me once, and man, I freaked out. So I was holding something, not a day trade, just a regular trade on I think it was Thinkorswim platform. I forgot what it was. But before the updates are done, it will look like our scanners look right now. You see, it says down 66%. It's just because it's data that's taken to calculate that, right? Data from the previous trading day at 179 down to 159. That's a 60% drop. Your P&L might be reflecting wrong for a short period of time. It will correct itself once they take your shares and they divide into whatever the number of shares is going to be going forward. But at one point, man, John, I was holding on to a trade, and it was actually showing a huge loss, man. And I was freaking out. Then I realized, I started searching. Okay, it took like a day to update, whatever, a couple hours. But man, I was out of my mind. So if that's happening to you, be aware that if it ever does, just be aware that it's a stock split. Don't go crazy. All right, so there we have it. What else on the gap down list this morning? We have Lunar, which again, this thing is down 23% this morning. As far as I haven't traded it ever since it's been doing this thing here up and down. Peter's been kind of following it more than I have for sure. I just don't know how tradable this is going to be. John, have you had any luck trading this, or is this one of the stuff you've been watching lately?
I haven't touched it. I haven't touched it once. It's been on my third list of stocks just to watch as a moderator for the chat room, so I'm kind of aware. But no, I haven't given it a try.
Yeah. So nothing to see there. Again, I don't like. If you guys like, you can put it on your list. I don't see myself trading it. BMR this morning was on our list last week a couple of times. This morning down 9.3, 233,000 shares traded. So we had a huge pop on this thing, 236 about 2 weeks ago. Since then, which has kind of been just slowly just grinding lower. Now we're down at 829. There is just for shorts on this thing. It is on SSR, so you do have to get filled on an uptick, sitting on the ask there. But for the most part, I just don't know how well this thing's going to trade, man. I'm not a big fan. So maybe a possible. Maybe we'll do that. Maybe a possible. Let's see what happens. And actually, if you look at the number of shorts, it's very low. I just clicked on this thing. It is only 90,000. So again, not really a whole lot there that's available. All right, last on our gap down list, which is very short this morning, is PDD. So PDD is on here. This is down at 3%, 183,000 shares traded. So nice drop, but not a whole lot of volume. Could get going though at the market open. This thing tends to not have great pre-market activity from the few times we looked at it, unless they have major news. Which, by the way, John, I don't know if they have any major news today.
I can't find any news for it.
Yeah,
I did read an article that asked, is PDD going to be $1 trillion company by 2030? That struck me as well. I don't know. But then again, will everything be $1 trillion company by 2030? I don't know.
The way it's going, man, I think everything is heading in that direction. These numbers are just getting crazy. But yeah, again, nice gap down. I'll put it on here on my secondary list. We just need the volume to come in. If the volume does come in at the market open, this could be a nice one. But we'll have to just hang on here. So your broker wouldn't liquidate it wouldn't liquidate your position. If you're talking about the Walmart stuff that we had, yeah, it wouldn't liquidate it because they know on their end what's going on. It's just the way the data is reflecting. A lot of these calculations happen based on numbers are already on there. So if you look at Walmart, the number that our scanners has this morning is 179. Is the last printed price. So it's doing just a simple basic calculation. Today's price with last price, and that's, we're getting that negative 66%. In some cases, your platform might show that's your P&L, but then it'll get adjusted usually the same day. They're pretty good about that. All right. I think we're all set. John, anything on your end that you like this morning that you're watching? Maybe something on the gap up list that we didn't cover.
Did you talk about ARM? ARM?
I did not, but I know they're making some noise. They got some news, right? They got some kind of
Well,
sales
they've
that
been
went
moved.
over. Yeah.
I think they've been moving since their earnings of, a couple weeks ago or whatever it was now. But I got a good trade on them Friday.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that's one trade, but it finally did what I was looking for it to do, is breaking out a bit. But it kind of looks like it might want to break out a bit more on the daily today. I don't know. It's maybe something to watch.
Yeah, I like ARM. I actually had a great short option short on this thing. I don't trade options much. It was like a bull spread, what or bears put whatever spread. I don't even know what it was, but it was a short and it actually traded very well. So it's been treating me all right. I'm out of it now, obviously, but here, yeah, it looks like it wants to break out, man. And I thought I heard some news on it too. I thought I heard something about their numbers actually came aside from earnings, like they have some good numbers, some good projections. So we'll see. I'll add to the list here, and we'll take a look at it in a couple of seconds. All right, let's take it to a room, guys. See what you guys like this morning. We'll start with our chat here. Rob is giving us MU. Let's take a look at MU this morning. Oh, nice gap up for MU, up 4.1,
Oh yeah, yeah. There's some news.
636,000.
There's
Yeah,
some
what's up
news
with
on
them?
Micron. Yeah. So people who are tech savvy, forgive me, but they they have some sort of, I don't even know what you would call this. I don't know if it's software or hardware or sort of just a methodology to save computing power or something. I don't know. I'm going to sound so stupid trying to describe this. It's called HBM3E. And
Mm-hmm.
so they have the industry leading HBM3E solution to accelerate the growth of AI, reducing data center operating costs by consuming about 30% less energy, which would be a big deal. So, yeah. So there's
Yeah.
that.
Yeah, yeah. I don't see anybody else moving, just MU. I don't see AMD moving much. So it looks like it's just specific to them. Seems like it. Usually when MU moves, the other semis kind of follow suit with it. But it just seems to be very specific news. So I'm gonna add MU to our list here. I
Yeah.
do like the volume on it, right? 4.1. I like the daily, how we're breaking out of here. MU can surprise you, man. They don't trade like they used to anymore, but once in a while they get some news that can drive them. And this could be it today. I like what I'm seeing here, pre-market wise and on the daily. So MU will go on the list. All right, what else, guys? Amazon joining the Dow Jones, right? I think that's today. It was announced a couple of weeks ago, but I think that's happening today. A lot of people thought that they were already part of the Dow Jones, right? Because how big they are, but they're joining now, and I think they're replacing like Walgreens or some other ones that are just falling to the wayside here. Not sure it's going to do anything for them, but they do have a little bit of volume here. They are up slightly, 481,000 shares traded. So given how weak our list is this morning, right? Amazon, because we could watch Amazon today.
It's not quite the news it used to be back in 1954,
Yeah,
but yeah, they're going to join the Dow, and a lot of people thought their stock split, that was somewhat recently, was part of that was the goal of getting Amazon on the Dow, because it couldn't
yeah.
be on the Dow with such a large price.
Now the question is, who? I don't look at the Dow at all. I mean, I know about it because obviously everybody still references it, but I don't know if anybody actually uses it anymore. Do you, John,
Yeah.
at all in any capacity? Like, do you reference
No,
it
back
or
before I ever traded, I mean, that's the one thing I ever knew the number of. I knew what the
right?
Dow was, and I never watched the S&P 500 or the Nasdaq. I just, if I cared about anything, which was very little about finance or the markets, I just kind of checked with the Dow numbers. Now I don't even know what it is. I assume it's around 30. I'm going to guess. Is
I
it
don't even
around
know what it is.
37,000? Is that what the Dow's around?
Yeah, I don't even know what it is really. I know I hear it every morning because they mention it. They're up and down, but I don't record it because I don't use it. So it's 39, says Michael. All right, so there it is, 39.
39. Okay.
All right, so again, I don't think that's going to affect them very much. We could take a look at it this morning and see if anything comes out of it. Back to our list here. So Amazon on deck this morning. What else? We have Mara. Let's take a look at Mara. Mara and Coin have been very, very active with all Bitcoin related stuff. Actually, did Bitcoin do anything over the weekend? They tend to like to do stuff on the weekends. Let's take a look at
Not
BTC.
not
Oh
much.
no, flat, just
Yeah.
nothing. Yeah. So we have really plateaued. I mean, we had a nice little jump here over to 51, 52, which is kind of just hanging out here, trying to figure out what's next. I think the next big move, once this thing starts moving, I think that's when Mara and the rest of the gang here is going to start having some movement. Right now, Mara still has 1.2 million shares traded. They still get volume pre-market. It is up 2.1. Coin will probably have way less volume since the Bitcoin's not really moving. Yeah, only 300,000 or less. I don't know, man. Secondary for Mara for now, in case anything happens. But right now, it just has volume. It's not really doing a whole lot. And I think a lot of the movement is coming from just Bitcoin doing its thing, right? So we'll have to wait and see on this one.
They do have earnings this week. Not that they'd be
Oh,
moving,
yeah.
gapping because of that this early, but they do have them on. I don't know what day it is, but I
Oh,
remember
that'll be good.
seeing
That'll be
it.
good to see how their numbers come out, right? They've been moving quite a bit here, which is overall Bitcoin, but it's good to see. Always great to see how the individual company does. Like with AI, right? AI, oh, AI is moving. Nvidia, we know it's making money of AI. Maybe Microsoft, but there's some other ones on here that you're not making money of AI. When the earnings comes out, everybody's gets a little shock. Like
Yeah.
you're not making money
Wednesday
out of
after the
this.
close. I know MicroStrategy just bought a bunch more Bitcoin too, but that news seems to come out all the time. They're always acquiring more. So I don't know if
Yeah.
that's helping at all either.
All right. Think talking about earnings, guys, you can always check out earningstradingterminal.com. You can see what earnings are coming out. Looks like we have lows too later this week. Monster, which I don't know how I don't remember, can't remember how they trade. We got a couple on here still creeping in. Salesforce. You got some other ones, Baidu, Snow, HP on Wednesday, and then yes, we got a couple of names still coming out. Not big stuff, but there's still a few on here that might be interesting when time comes. All right. Over to our YouTube chat. We're looking at Pig Wrestler. Our friend is looking at Tesla. Let's take a look at Tesla. Pretty quiet, man. Low pre-market activity. Only 912,000 shares traded. On a day like today, can we look at Tesla? Absolutely. Absolutely. It's just not a whole lot. So Tesla, we'll put that on there. Let's see here. Mara, we looked at from Vasilis. Let's see. Okay, I think we're all set, man. I think this is not a again not a blockbuster list to start this week, but not too bad. With that, let's go to our community events and announcements. See what's coming up for the next 2 weeks, starting with today, man, our onboarding class at 8 p.m. This evening. So make sure to join us for that. I'll be doing that 8 p.m. Come on down, ask any questions you might have. You can always check what's going on over at webinars on bearbutchers.com. Go to webinars up here, and you can see what's coming up for the next 2 weeks.
Yeah. So, like Carlos, you mentioned the onboarding for new members. Definitely check that out. That's a great session we offer every week. Tuesday this week, we've got high probability setups. Aim is going to talk about a deep dive into breakout trading. I'm a breakout trader myself, so might check that out. And the following week, we have Megan with zero DTE options, the hot asset these days. She's going to talk about the good, the bad, and the ugly. I didn't know there was an ugly side to zero DTE options. I thought they just always made money. I'll be interested to hear what that is. And Wednesday, we get into the psychology stuff. This week, we have Randy Howell talking about building a rock solid psychology for facing the challenges of trading. And the following week, Dr. Kenneth Reed, if you want a better outcome, optimize your mindset at the moment of entry. Those should both be great sessions. And I always encourage our members, go check out the psychology sessions, because the ones that are more technically oriented are much higher attended, right? So Eamon's breakout, Megan's options, there'll be a lot of people in those, but we always got to work on our headspace too. So definitely remember to check out that psychology stuff. It's great. And then Thursday, we get into our mentorship sessions. I'll be doing my 11 a.m. in the webinar room for the, I like to kind of cater to the new members, new traders, people who have those questions they're afraid to ask in the main chat room. So always encourage people like that to come by my session. Thor, Actually, let's skip down to Jared and Megan. They do their options mentorship at 2 p.m. in the webinar room. And then Thor is at night doing his Thor State mentorship. And that wraps up the week. And then if you haven't checked it out, check out tradingterminal.com. That's what I use every morning to try to get ahead of Carlos before we start this show, pull up the gappers and try to figure out what's going on, and occasionally get confused because I didn't know Walmart had a stock split coming up. I don't know how I didn't know that. That seems like big news. It's a big company. It's a big event. I had no idea that was happening. I feel ashamed as a YouTube pre-market show presenter, albeit a secondary one. But yeah, there's the gappers list Carlos is showing there. And then, so, if for any reason you can't check out the show, you can always jump on the trading terminal and pull up those gappers yourself, or maybe check out some of our other scanners. And then go ahead and play around on Trading Terminal. We've got some amazing functionality that I will say you would be hard pressed to find in other places, like our real-time simulator. That's a huge deal. And then, you can actually get the market data in real time to observe candlestick charts and take some simulated trades. And you will not find that anywhere else I'm aware of. And then, not in a browser anyway. And then we have the replay simulator, go back and trade any day you want, and a bunch of other good stuff. The calendar's there as well, where we find out what's coming up for the upcoming trading day. So check it out. And then if you want to join Bearable Traders, our easiest way to dip your toe into the waters of BBT is to do the 1 week intro, which is at a discount with the pre-market code premarket24. I believe that takes it down to $24. That's the deal, right, Carlos? I should know this after all these years.
Yep.
Yeah. So I mean, it's just an amazing to be able to access our chat room and some of our basic lessons for $24. It's an amazing opportunity, and I encourage you, just for nothing else, to come by and hang in the chat room and see what value that alone provides. But you can bump up to the same kind of access for a basic membership of $99 a month. I recommend going for that elite membership so you can attend things like the mentorship sessions, the webinars, and that would be $199 a month. Or take the best option there is and go for the elite annual, and that is $1,199. $1,199. So early, I didn't know if that was the right way to say that. $1,199, yeah, for the year.
All right. Thank you, man. Appreciate it, John. All right, friends, let's get to it. I was looking through some comments here on YouTube. Our buddy Leonardo saying the Dow ticker in DAS is DIA. I didn't even know that, so I actually pulled it up. So it's DIA. And you can check this out. So he says he looks at it's important to watch side by side with the SPY. It usually moves like the SPY, but not always. It's important to watch because some tickers follow it, not don't follow the SPY. All right, so yeah, I get it. So yeah, DIA guys, if you did not know that, what I need is, though, I think I need more of a Taylor Swift. I need like a Taylor Swift indicator, so I can track the economy a little bit better. This was shared by one of our moderators, Eamon. He shared this over the weekend, man. This was funny. U.S. economy, Nvidia, and Taylor Swift holding it down there. So there you go. All right, friends, if you haven't done so already, hit that thumbs up over on YouTube. Really appreciate it. It does help out the channel a ton. We're sitting at 63 likes for this Monday morning as we get things rolling, get back into action here. We have a 5-day week. I know you guys are not used to that. We've been doing a lot of 4-day weeks here, but yeah, we got to work 5 days this week. So help us get to that 160, 150 to start the week off right. All right, looking at our gappers list this morning, guys. Again, not a blockbuster list, but we'll find something to trade. I guarantee you. LI, ARM, MU, Amazon, and Tesla this morning. And I'm going to be looking at scanners to see what else is out there because, again, it's just this list does not look great. We'll have to see what the market does. And obviously, we got to look at NVIDIA. I didn't add NVIDIA here. It's probably not doing anything right now. But this is the darling of the market right now. So we got to look at NVIDIA and see how this is going to trade. It's been providing some really great opportunities for day trading. Already 1.4 million shares traded, and it's down, up 1.2 this morning. So, all right, let's get to some levels. We'll start with Lee here this morning. Earnings, right? I believe it was. So here at the moment, $40 is the high of the pre-market on Lee. Towards the bottom, the low of the pre-market is sitting just between the highs and lows of the last two trading days, Friday and Thursday. So I'm not going to worry about marking that down. Got tons of levels on there. Even below that, you do have the previous day close. Let's head to the left and get some levels off this daily. Again, this stock has been gapping up almost every single day, gapping up or down. You can see it here. This is a bigger gap than what we've seen in quite a while. So it's up 12% and looking to go higher, looking to retest that 40, looks like. 38.32, 38.20 looks like a great level on the daily. So you want to mark that down. Even where the price action is now, if you look at this slightly above around 30, 39, 36 on the daily, you got a lot of touches on this. I want to slam some levels there as well. Towards the top on the daily, we got 40.88 and then obviously 41.46 and all the way up here over at a 42.29. I do like the pre-market action. This type of volume reminds me of the old Lee, the old Neo. And we'll look at Neo actually next. I saw them on the gap up list here too. They're up 2.4 with 2.7 million shares traded, which is great volume. I wonder if they're trading well though. Let's look at the price action. And then towards the bottom below the price action now, we do have a level around 36.97. And then we have the previous day close and the highs and lows of the last two trading days all the way down there. So there you have it. That is Lee this morning. Again, very active. Hopefully can trade very well. Just quick look at Neo. Let's see what Neo is up to. Oh, it's just garbage, man. Wow. Wow.
Neo,
This is
Neo's
how
all
do you
done.
yeah, how do you go from like being so great to just pure garbage, man? All right. Back to ARM here. ARM this morning up 3.3, 677,000 shares traded. This stock could be very explosive, guys. So be very, very careful with your share sizing on this thing. It can move $5 very easily. So if you take just a handful of shares here, you can do very, very well. So be in mind. Also, you want to obviously protect on the downside of things. If things go wrong, you want to make sure you got great risk management. 132.32 is the low of the pre-market. We'll slam a level there. And we're just stuck right now between the highs and lows of the last two trades. As you can see there, just got a lot going on there as far as levels. We're testing the high end of this area here. So we'll see where that goes. Towards the top, the next daily level I have is going to be this big candle here. It's going to be 148. And it's going to be, so 148.46. We'll take the body of that. We'll take the wick up here, 163.49. There's no real levels above this area, right? It's just kind of stuck here. To the left, have we been higher before in this thing? I don't think we have. And this thing probably what? Oh, it IPO not so long ago, actually. IPO'd last year, probably with the AI madness. So there you have it. So not many levels to go off of this one, but again, it can be very explosive. Looking forward to it. It can trade very well. Here's MU. MU's got some action this morning, 721,000. High of the pre-market sitting at 90.48. We'll slam one there. And then if we look to the left a little bit, we'll get some more off this daily. Nice one over here, over at 87.80. And another daily here at 89.09. You can see how many times we're slamming into this. A couple of days opening, closing right on that 89.09. So worth marking down. Even in the pre-market, you see a little bit of flirting happening around that area as well. Worth having there. Towards the bottom, you're set highs and lows for the last two trading days. We haven't been up here in quite a while. Looks like MU. Yeah, that is a 52-week high. Wow. All right. So we're going back now to 2021. It's the last time we were up here, or early 2022 looks like. And then get some levels on the daily here off above the pre-market high, 91.53. Big level over at 93.8. That's a big one. Got tons of touches on there. So that's the one that makes sense to have on there on MU this morning. Um, all right, next Amazon. So Amazon it's got a little bit of noise going on here, hitting its all-time highs, I believe, as well. Yeah, creating an all new high this morning over at 176.39. So we'll slam one level there. And then towards the bottom, you're pretty much set highs and lows for the last two trading days. And there's really nothing else up there. I don't believe there is. Let me just make sure. Oh, no. I take that back. I am wrong. Look at the weekly, looking at going back to 2021. If we zoom in here, we have been as high as 188. So much higher than where we are right now. And then off this weekly, we're going to mark down 179. Looks like a really great level as well. So just 52-week high for Amazon. Not all-time highs like every other stock seems to be lately. All right, let's take a look at Tesla. So Tesla, again, very quiet. Has a couple of days where it's done well, but it hasn't been moving exceptionally great. So 189 level on the daily. It's a nice clean level. Another one's going to be 184.70, and then obviously all the way down here. I don't think we'll get there today. 177.20. We'll mark down the high and low of the pre-market right now. We have 190 08, which is actually not there. It's going to be down over here. So 190.08, and then our high of our pre-market right at 192.99. So once we do that, we're pretty much set on Tesla. Let's see if the volume comes in. Very light volume right now, not even a million shares traded yet. We're getting there, but again, compared to what we're used to seeing out of them, extremely light. Now here is NVIDIA, last but not least, high of the pre-market 801. The low of the pre-market is down over at 787, just right around, just very close to the previous day close at the moment. Once you mark those levels, you're set, guys. Highs and low for the last 2 trading days. This is also your all-time high, so you don't have no other levels to go by besides these 2 days right on this. So if you want to get even more levels, you can look at Friday's action, look at the intraday there, see where we have some areas of support and resistance. You could do the same for Friday if you need more levels, but I think once you mark the high and low with the highs and lows of the last 2 trading days, I think you're pretty much set. I don't think you need to add too much on NVIDIA there. All right, friends, that is our list this morning. Again, not a blockbuster list, but I think it will do. John, anything else on your end that maybe had popped up that you're watching today that is not on my list?
Well, I should correct myself. I said I had a good trade on ARM on Friday. It wasn't ARM. It was PANW, Palo Alto Networks.
That's another one that was very active. Yeah.
Yeah, so it's interesting in that it had this giant gap down after earnings, just enormous, and it's trying to weasel its way back up there. So I don't know if there's anything there. I will tell you, I tried a few trades on it before I got one to work over the course of days. So I don't know, maybe something to look at, but it just expect it to be tricky, perhaps. I'm not really used to trading it.
Yeah. It has such a big gap down, man, and you're right. It looks like it's trying to close some of this now. Maybe an overreaction to the news. I can't even recall what the news was at that point. 289.70 is the high of the pre-market, so we'll mark that down. And towards the bottom, highs and lows for the last 2 trading days. I mean, all the way up. You don't need to mark any more levels towards the bottom. You're pretty set there. And then if we look on the daily, right over here, we got a couple of really good levels. The next one's going to be at 294. And then just in case we get going, it's going to be 299. It's very light volume right now. It's a good secondary stock, though. Like later in the day, if this thing gets trending and it's trying to close this gap, could be a nice one to keep an eye on. So I'll put it as a secondary for now. And we'll see where that goes.
I'll be watching coin today too. I'm sorry, not to throw one last one at you.
No, it's all good. We're ahead of schedule. We're on
we got Mara up, like you said, for some reason a little bit, not a lot, 1.7%. Coin's up 1.7% as well. So I don't know. I get some good trades out of coin. It's surprisingly easy for me to day trade, although I will tell you the spread is usually kind of gross, so you have to deal with that. For the price, it's not great.
It can move, man. It can move well, and we'll have to wait for the market open to see if anything comes in on it. I mean, the daily setting up, the daily on coin looks much better than Mara's daily. That's for sure. It just looks cleaner for me. I don't know why. It's almost the same movement, given how BTC has been trading, right? So if you look at the move we had up, now it's just been pretty much flat. So we'll see if this thing does anything in the next couple of days. Might not do it today, but I don't think it'll stay. I mean, it's just found like a flat surface here. So I don't think it'll stay like that for long. It usually doesn't. If you look at Bitcoin, it moves, right? It does move quite a bit. So we'll see. We'll see what happens.
And I know people will be watching SMCI today. We didn't talk about that.
Nobody brought it up, huh? SMCI. I mean, it's
because
fun
they don't want
watch.
to admit it, Carlos. You don't admit the dirty things you're watching. So people are just being quiet. I'm not going to admit, or I don't want to talk about it. I might trade that because the spread is horrible. But who knows?
It's a good entertainment stock. I like watching the moves. I don't touch it, man. I think it's just wild. But usually when this thing is moving like this, you could look at NVIDIA, you could look at AMD or some other ones that might give you a better opportunity. In honor of Peter, we'll look at AMD, see what's happening here, and not much right now. So just pretty quiet. Apple as well, not a whole lot going on. We'll see what happens at the market open. Let's take a look at Google, another big one here. Oh, Google's slightly interesting here. We're down 1.1 on it, 294,000. Interesting movement on Google. So that might be worth having on a secondary. Again, I'm not a big fan of the way it moves. I think out of all the Magnificent Seven, this is probably the worst intraday trading one for me, for the way I trade. It could be the best one for you, right? It doesn't matter. Everybody's different. But for me, man, this is the one that is not my favorite. But I don't know. It looks interesting here on this drop that we're getting on Google today. Slight drop. All right, with that, friends, let's get over to our moderators list and see what they're watching this morning. I'm going to bring this over. If you haven't had the opportunity to do so, hit that thumbs up over on YouTube. We highly appreciate it. It does help us out a ton, right? It helps out the channel. And I'm surprised how many people are still don't know about the second channel, right? From our main channel. I released a conversation with Paris on our main YouTube channel, which is Bearable Traders channel. And the comments were like, "Oh, why you stopped doing the pre-market show?" I'm like, well, "What are you talking about? We never stopped. We still been doing the pre-market show on YouTube. It's just on this community channel. So make sure you follow both channels so you're not missing what gets released on this one, what gets released on the other one. Stay in tune on both of them. Here this morning, right now, we have Thor. He's looking at the overall market SPY Qs. You got to add a Dow now. Amazon is there. Tesla and Amazon as well. In futures, also, he has his X commentary there as well on X.com. Mike, looking at Amazon, AMD, and MU. Megan, Amazon, Tesla, and AMD as a possible on those last two. John, you'll be focusing on NVIDIA, Amazon, and Coin. Avi will be looking at Amazon, possible bounce of yesterday's highs towards that 177, 178. Brian will be taking us to the market open this morning, looking at Google, AMD, Tesla, Amazon, and MU. And then Jerry will be looking at MU/ARM, Lunar, and also secondary list, Lee and Tesla this morning. So there you have it, guys. That is our moderators list. And I think we are all set, my friends. John, anything that I might have missed here?
No, I don't think so.
All right, we're all set. John, thanks for covering. I'm sure we'll probably be hearing from you a lot these pre-market shows as you're covering.
You're
for
stuck
Peter.
with me for a little while here while Peter's off gallivanting.
I don't mind, man. I don't mind. I like the change. I like change is good once in a while, right? We miss Peter, but change is good. Friends, take care. We will see you guys tomorrow. Have an amazing trading day.